Hello, so Ottomans versus Japanese. This is actually can be a little bit of a harder matchup, so I just did the Delhi Sultanate, which is normally okay for the Ottomans. They can normally get through that fairly well. The Japanese can be quite difficult, especially with their melee infantry being quite good. This is the Lakeside map, which is a new one. I really like it actually. I think it's quite a good map. Previously, you need to watch out for people kind of using transport ships to come around the back. Previously somebody tried that with me. It didn't quite work, to be honest, but it was a nice idea. So, New Age, a little bit slow, but not too bad, and obviously faster than the enemy, which is good. So that's just my scout, getting a few pot shots taken at it, which is fine. I actually played this game I think yesterday, so I don't recall exactly the sequence of events. Yeah, I get the first military school up before 7 minutes. Not too bad, for me at least. Nice number of sheep there, look. 15, not too bad. Next military school up. Switch to income per minute, so it's a bit clearer. And again, I'm rushing, as I always do, Castle Age, and making sure that everything's nice and tight into the town centre, such that if they are raiding and trying to take out these military schools or anything else, they are going to be within range of the town centre and or the outpost, hopefully. I always kind of, I never prioritise stone, because stone is, it's not a priority, right? So I always prioritise the gold mine. So their scouts just kind of lurking about, and I'm happy just to leave it there for the moment. Bit slow, not too slow, very slightly slow I guess. I think I lost maybe one villager who's somehow died inside the house, it seems to be. You see, if you can see that, isn't that a villager? Interesting. So they're obviously going for the fairly early push. 10:36, it's quite early. I don't have a huge force out here, but I need to be kind of wary a little bit. Obviously need to, pretty sharpish, build some forces to respond to that threat, and hope that Janissary comes through in the not too distant future. Oh no, sorry, not Janissary. I hope that Mangonel comes through in the not too distant future from the Imperial Armory as well, which would be useful. Putting up a bit more defence, making sure that I don't know how quickly I do this. Not quickly. That's not great. They should have continued. I do actually. Oh, go back in. Go back. Yeah, to be honest, this raiding doesn't do them a lot of favours. I've kind of, for some reason, had these villagers do a bit of a walk around. So again, this is fairly nicely positioned, right? Because it means that they're in range. Yes, it's good. That's a bit annoying because it's. Yeah, I'm going to have to build a house or two more, but whatever. Not really game changing. In terms of vizier points, Anatolian Hills as usual, military campus as usual, advanced academy as usual. I would consider in this kind of situation doing Janissary Company if I needed to, if I needed that extra number of troops, but remembering that Janissary is against archers is never a great matchup. It's not the Janissaries versus cavalry that's the ideal, light cavalry especially. I take a risk here. I need gold, so I just put all these on this gold. That's a huge risk. I do end up putting a outpost here in a minute, I think. Because if I was clever and if they were clever, they would realise that both of us are gonna do that, and that's gonna be a real soft spot, such that a nice transport boat coming through with a load of archers take out this 22 villages quite well. But I just take the risk. Here we go. Now I'm putting up an outpost. I'm not going to bother defending, but I am going to bother. Ooh, not sure what's going on there. I am going to bother putting up an outpost so I can see if there's an attack coming, because I reckon if I was, observant enough, I can run from an attack, as long as it's not like horse archers, and that's unlikely because I'm against the Japanese. Right, so it looked like I got a bit kind of bored of waiting. Decided to get these mangonels into the action a little bit. They respond by retreating, which is probably sensible. So I don't normally do this. Well, I've gone a little bit early with this little force as of now, and also I come upon a load of villagers and I can't resist taking them out because, it's an obvious thing to do. For some reason they don't run away. That gold mine's done, but I've got loads of gold, so perhaps, what do I do with these? Put them on food, maybe? Probably be sensible. So I've being led on a bit of a chase with these villagers. I ignore the trying to, farmhouse or whatever, because I don't see the point, it just takes too long to, doesn't really matter. It's the actual game. But then I spot another load of villagers. And again they're not running away. I think I'm doing something else at the same time, so I do go past them a little bit. That's slightly poor on his part. He could have removed those villagers from that position quite easily. Also got a extra force coming through, reinforcements. Reinforcing this attack. I think they do manage to run away with these villagers. That's 10 villagers. Mangonels need to be protected. I do eventually do that. The enemy should have gone to the mangonels straight away, but they do go with this cavalry force. Here I'm not in a great position, if you see, because my troops are way too split up. I don't really like that. And also the mangonels have only really got shots off against heavy armoured cavalry, which is not going to do much. What I really wanted them to do is to go after the light range infantry. So, I'm not actually sure what happens with this. I think I might win, just about. I'm able to get, the Janissaries to do, but this is the strength of the enemy as well. It's a close old thing. The Janissaries do come into their own here. But this is now not a force to try and push, I would suggest, on the enemy. I'm not sure what happened with these. I have no idea how they got there. Not a clue. Magic. So I can take out units kind of one at a time, but I would suggest when you've got 10, 6, force of certainly under 20. You're not really going to be able to do that final push, or if you are, you have to be very careful about it, because it could quite easily turn into a nice counter attack. Put a load of villagers on this gold. So I'm coming back this way, as I say. I'm deciding to not do that final push, and actually that I get rewarded. This is complete fluke. I get rewarded with a load of villagers that are very badly. Well, they don't run quite as early as perhaps they should have done. And I get a nice load of villagers. I think the enemy player is not terrible. And obviously the Japanese are quite good against the Ottomans. They can be. Yes, this is this group. These hardened samurai can be a little bit of a, well, very much a problem. They are, as their name suggests, rather heavily armoured. Those mounted samurai can be annoying as well. But as I say, the enemy do well in a minute. I think they build this nice wall right across the map, which is pretty damn sensible, to be honest. I've overdone gold, as you can see, so I'm not playing particularly well. But then I've gone a bit crazy with the farms. I decide, you know what, no need for any more gold. Everyone's on farms, essentially. 53 villagers on farms. Yeah, so now is the point where I'm looking to take villages and build that Seagate Castle and reinforce. I'm a bit slow at doing that actually. These should move and come to reinforce this little number of units. So obviously the wall kind of throws me a little bit. Oh, it's a wall, I need to do something about that. So I start to knock it down, put up a siege. Workshop. The enemy looks like it's spent money on ships with a view to try and... Yeah, I think they've had the view of trying to take out any buildings they can with these ships, but it doesn't really work on this map very well, to be honest. Not quite sure. I guess these are quite expensive units, so they've been able to create quite a small force. Have they got more people around? Not really. Wasted a bit of money on these, because I'm not contesting the water at all. These are good units, these, but they're still not going to match a reasonable force that I'm bringing to bear now. And now it becomes quite one-sided in my favour, which is always good. Very important, obviously, to take advantage of that one-sidedness and don't just kind of rest on your laurels, as it were. Also, getting the stone as it's coming through and making making sure that if there's any obvious targets, which like that one. To be honest, some of this has been luck, some of this has been poor enemy play. I haven't played particularly well, as you can see, in terms of a resource collection. It's sometimes worth just letting a couple of villagers go if there's just going to be too much hassle. I never have serious numbers of cavalry units, so that's always kind of it's always going to be slightly harder. And also, I'm not going to bother contesting that. There's absolutely no point to try and contest that. Just go around. Put a nice Seagate castle here is the plan. Or wherever, really. But then this changes the calculation, doesn't it? If you've got mangonels that are gonna... Ow! That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. That is a great deal of damage. So this is quite close now. The enemy do I think see the threat? A little bit late maybe. They need to get their mangonels on these villagers. And they do take out a few villagers, a fair few villagers. I've got slightly too many units. It was quite close actually. They might have done it. They might have killed enough villagers, because I don't take a huge number. 28 still alive. They see the, not oblivious to the threat. This nice little contingent of Janissaries managed to take out the cavalry. And with that Seagate castle there, they're in a pickle. Even though it is quite far away, as you can see. It is, it's pretty far away. But at the same time, yeah, they surrender. Because it's going to be very difficult from then on. Having a Seagate castle that close to your base. And not being able to kind of get the gold over here or get the stone over here or whatever else. Another good game.